Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to the final frontier with 3 fantastic actors, and now is the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for them. Immediately after this session, you will have the opportunity to talk to them directly through our private chat options, as well as shop our selection of personalized autographs, all of which are available now at GalaxyCon.com. So let's brace the Borg Collective and see who we find. Our first guest is an actress whose body of work includes Chariots of Fire, Carnival Row, and Tyrant. Today, she joins us to discuss the role of the Borg Queen. Please welcome Alice Krige.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hi.
Hello. Hi, Alice. How are you doing?
Great. I'm doing really well, and this is really lovely after a year of almost complete isolation to feel that I'm in contact with the outside world.
This is your first contact after a while. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so, Alice, thank you for joining us here today. It's so wonderful. I've been a huge admirer of your body of work, going all the way back to Chariots of Fire and Ghost Story, and I was really taken with Tyrant. I really enjoyed that series. I really enjoyed that it got a lot of actors on screen that normal Western programming wouldn't have put them onto, and your performance in it was really fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Great.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us here today. Again, this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's bring out the rest of it. All right. Our second guest is an actress whose credits include Young Justice, The Orville, and Gargoyles. Today, she joins us to talk about her role in Star Trek The Next Generation as Commander and Counselor Deanna Troi. Please welcome back the always awesome Marina Sirtis.
Dun, 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 dun. I should be going in slow motion, shouldn't I? I would say. That was when I fell in love with Miss Krige. I too watched Tyrant. I thought you were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But she's always brilliant. Pisses me off. She's always so flipping good. So like sometimes I'm like, are we in the same union? Are we in the same union? Do I have to pay extra if I want to be in the same union? And
Marina, how have you been?
I'm good. Well, as you can see, I have relocated to London, which is why I'm talking like this now, because I've decided I'm not even going to try to sound American anymore. I'm going back to my roots, and I'm a true Cockney, and this is what you get.
Well, you have been talking about it for so long in the previous year in all of our conversations, and you finally did it. And I'm so glad you. Definitely a much more interesting view, certainly.
Oh, shut up! You stop dissing my kitchen.
I loved your kitchen. I loved your kitchen. I still want to. I still want to do the Marina Sirtis cooking show.
Oh, actually, yes, we should do the Marina Sirtis cooking show, the singing cooking show, because of course, I sing as I cook. Yes, absolutely. We were talking about it. We'll get it. 2021 things getting back. So, all right, let's bring out our final guest. He is an actor and director whose work in front and behind the camera includes Leverage, Burn Notice, and The Librarians. Today, he joins us to talk about his numerous contributions to Star Trek as both director on several series, episodes, and feature films, including Star Trek First Contact, as well as portraying the characters of William and sometimes Thomas Riker. Please welcome back Jonathan Frakes.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jonathan. How are you?
Never better. How are you, Patty?
I am holding up well in my corner of the world. How are things in yours?
Very nice. I'm privileged to be with these two.
Oh, these are some amazingly lovely and incredibly talented actresses.
Right back at you.
Yes.
Marina's humility about her acting doesn't suit her, though.
What?
Your attempt at humility.
My attempt at humility? Goodness gracious. Well, we only just started. Is already picking holes. Jeez. Johnny, I thought you were my Zimbabwe.
Oh, you are my Zimbabwe, too.
Okay, all right.
Well, sir and ladies, once again, thank you for joining us for the GalaxyCon virtual stage. And for Alice, thank you for joining us back, coming for the first time. As always, we're looking back to the day when we can get you all on our physical stages and get you all back in front of your fans. In the meantime, we have this forum. So glad to have you, some of you, back again, and Alice for the first time. Our team's going to the chat room right now, pull out questions. In the meantime, Jonathan and Alice, you covered this a little bit before with Will Wheaton, but Marina, just want to talk a little bit about First Contact because it is the anniversary and just
is it now? Is it now?
It's
not
this year,
November, right? It's this year. It's this year. Okay.
Yeah, this year's the anniversary, and so I just wanted to say, what was the best memory that each of you took from First Contact?
Well, the drunk scene, because it was a first for me to do comedy in the show. I tried to do comedy for years, and his lordship here would say, "No, Marina, no, don't do it. Troy's not funny. No, just don't be funny. No,
come on,
don't be funny. No." And then they wrote it, and I actually said to Rick Berman, "So after 7 years of no comedy, 7 years in a movie of no comedy, so how come I get to be funny?" And he said, "Well, there's a line in the scene where you say, 'I've been trying to keep his hands off me for the last 20 minutes,' talking about Ephraim Cochrane. And he said, if one of the boys had said that, it would be a whole different movie." I think it was meant to be a joke. I think it was meant to be a joke, but that was his reasoning. So anyway, that was, it's fine. I don't know if they swapped me around. I don't know if it was supposed to be someone else. I know that in Generations, the scene with me and Patrick and I, talking about the fire, that was originally supposed to be Picard and Data. And Patrick actually requested that I do the scene with him because he just looks at me and cries. So, I have that effect on him. I just make people cry. Anyway, it's usually up in me.
I feel great pain from both of them.
Great joy and gratitude from both of them.
This
is going to be tough, Paddy. It's late in the day in England. It's 5 o'clock. It's like in between tea and supper. We're in that weird mood, aren't we, Alice? Jonathan's having his breakfast coffee.
It's all good. It's all good, Marina.
I'm
Alice,
listening vaguely. Can you hear that I've got the radio on?
A little bit.
No. Well, you can't hear it because I'm listening to Spurs v Man United in the background.
Okay. Oh boy, you have truly re-embraced your homeland, haven't you?
I've come back to my tribe. Yes, I have.
Indeed.
Patty, have you seen her tattoo?
No. I haven't had that privilege.
Come on. This is how much of a Spurs fan she is.
Ooh.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Goodness.
I know. I'm one of the very few people, male or female, who has a Spurs tattoo, who's that crazy to get
good on you
logo tattooed on their shoulder. But I love them.
Well, maybe we can let's do a live streaming then. One of their matches. Do a commentary.
Oh my
awesome.
God! Her eyes.
Actually, you know what? For all those of you in Europe, in May during the Eurovision Song Contest, which I love, I will be doing a live commentary on Twitter.
All right.
It's my thing during the Eurovision Song Contest, and it's not nice. I mean, it's not sweet.
That surprises me.
It's honest.
Marina, I love you.
Thank you.
Alice, you joined the Star Trek family with First Contact. Again, you'd said really recently about the audition process and stuff like that. So, just what was your takeaway from the whole experience?
It was actually quite extraordinary in that somehow I really did feel as if I was just a channel. I just showed up, and she arrived. I didn't have that much to do with it. Yeah. Brent and Patrick and Jonathan had more to do with it than me. Wow. It was just, do you know that we practiced putting her together, right? Because she was the head, the makeup, the suit, everything. And there were so many people who made that possible. And in the run-up to actually starting, we had many trial runs. And on the day that we put it all together, I was moved from I had a tiny little caravan, because we started so early, that Scott Wheeler and I started so early, that we were in this little caravan in a corner. And everyone else, as I remember it, was in this amazing big makeup trailer with mirrors, it was like just a world of mirrors. Yeah. And so just as I was in the head, in the makeup, in the suit, and we went into the big makeup trailer to fetch everyone up in the production office down to see me. And we were waiting. So just before everyone arrived, they put in the lenses. And the lenses were a masterstroke. I don't know whose idea they were, but they were like wearing Ray-Bans. So I could see out, but no one could see in. Yeah. It was so subtle, you wouldn't know it, but that was the effect. It was utterly inscrutable. So they put in the lenses, and they were all lined up behind me, the whole of the makeup, hair, well, Scott, everyone was behind me. Todd, Masters, all the Borg Queen Wranglers. And we put it in, and I looked up into the mirror, and behind me, they all went, and I thought, yes, there she is. And from then on, it was like when she was all put together, she kind of showed up. And that was a very, very unique experience for me. Yeah. I just felt like I was floating and being a conduit. But the other thing, and I know I said this with Will Wheaton and Patrick and Jonathan, but it was remarkable that when I had been at the Royal Shakespeare Company many, many years beforehand, I was lucky enough to be in a group, a company that we really got on. So for 2.5 years, we worked round the clock. We rehearsed in the day, we performed at night. Mm-hmm. It was totally intense. Yeah. But it was a totally functional group. Yeah. And really, it was so striking to me that was what I walked into in Next Gen. Yeah. You guys were all so glad to be back together. Well, at any rate, that's what I felt. Because what?
We were.
What?
We were.
You hadn't seen each other for like 2 years, right?
Well, no, we had.
In the Star Trek context. Yeah. You hadn't been working in Star Trek. You'd done other stuff together, but not. And there was a lightness and a joyfulness that was perhaps the most powerful memory that I took away from it. Yeah. Of the group.
Yeah. Lucky you weren't in Nemesis.
Well, I tell you what, that's so exceptional. I don't know about Nemesis. But as an experience, that is wonderful.
And what was it like to revisit the character in Star Trek Voyager?
It was actually terrifying. Because it was completely different. A couple of days beforehand, it dawned on me that, it was the Borg Queen and 2 women, not the Borg Queen and guys. Yeah. And I actually called the producer in a panic, and I said, well, what about her sexuality? What about that? And he said, think of her as omnisexual. I didn't know what that meant, but I felt very comforted by it. So I thought of her as omnisexual. And actually, they were wonderful. It was a completely different, but wonderful experience. And of course, all the crew was back. A lot of the crew who had worked on First Contact were there. And that was just joyful.
Well, your character remains in Star Trek history as one of the most beloved villains, if that pairing of those two words makes sense.
Well, it was one, thanks the writers for that, because it was a wonderful sort of flare of imagination.
Absolutely, indeed. Jonathan, first feature film, and you had to be in front of the camera too.
My wife says that she thought my work in First Contact was wonderful as an actor because I was so exhausted. So I was less nervous, and I mean, for instance, the drunk scene that Marina refers to is, we had a ball. Cromwell, of course, was fabulous in it, but I was not crazy about having my spacesuit on in the same days that I had to do both, but it's a high class problem. What Alice didn't mention is, and she underplayed it actually, the Alice and the Borg literally had their own world on First Contact. They started at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They had their own assistant director. They had their own staff, their own craft service. They were there literally 4 or 5 hours before we got started. The rest of us were coming at 6 or 6:30. They had been there for 3 or 3.5 hours getting ready for us. And what they put Alice through, she didn't mention the pain and suffering and physical pain and emotional pain, but the physical pain I know is very real, and your stoicism is admirable.
Actually, the truth is that the physical pain lasted only for 2 or 3 days. In fact, it only lasted the first day. I don't know if you remember, but we started on a Friday, and I left home at about 2 in the morning, and I got back at about 2 on the Saturday morning. But the suit had shrunk. It was a problem that had never happened before. In the curing of it, it had shrunk, and it was fine when I was wearing it in pieces. But when I spent a whole day in it, glued in and sewed up, I don't know if you remember, but in the middle of it, Jonathan, I had to go to the loo.
Yes.
And it was the longest and most expensive pee in the history of cinema.
Oh, gracious.
When we tried to get me back into it, I couldn't. My hands and feet had swollen so that we couldn't get me into it.
Yeah.
It took a long time. And what happened then, I don't know if you remember this, but Todd Masters went from the lot at 2 o'clock in the morning back to his studio in Simi Valley, and he made me a new suit.
Wow.
And it was a soft suit. From then on, I was like wrapped in marshmallow. It was the Borg, my Borg, who suffered. For me, it was only the first day. And that was a learning experience for me, because the tight suit taught me a lot. It gave me her gait, right?
Yeah.
But the soft suit, I was cool. It was the poor Borg who were truly going through a great deal of discomfort. I mean,
I have to disagree with you, Alice, on something.
Really?
You said it was on the page. It wasn't on the page. There was nothing on the page for the Borg Queen. You made it. I remember the script. There was nothing on the page for you. Basically, you created this character out of nothing. Aren't you going to agree with me, Jonathan?
I completely agree with you, Marina. You can't imagine anyone else playing it. You can't imagine anyone else doing it and we were mystified from the moment we saw you.
Well,
I can concur on this. The statute of limitations is probably long gone, but I did read the script before the film came out, and I concur with both of you. It was a blank slate that Alice really put a character in a queen of a race that is not supposed to have character.
Right.
Well, I thank you for that, and I'm very moved by it, but I must say this, and I always say it because it is absolutely true. It was a huge collaboration, because stop and think, you can't imagine her separate from how she looked, can you?
No.
So that was a gift that Scott Wheeler gave me, and that Todd Masters, originally she was meant to wear a dress. I mean, I saw an early design. Can you imagine? And whoever it was that finally, I imagine, Jonathan, that it was a back and forth in the production team, but I wound up in that suit. And the truth is, you can't imagine her separate from what as I say, down to the lenses. So it was a truly collaborative piece of work. I mean, she was the creation of everyone that contributed to her.
Including John.
I couldn't have done what I did without what I was given.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention John Knoll in that collaboration, who actually created your entrance shot.
Of course.
Yeah. Right.
It was.
When her head came
you're
down
being humble, but I
and
completely agree with Marina that we can't imagine anyone else in that part. Also, I agree with you too, Alice, that you were given, that is a gift in many ways. That
absolutely
so much it was help if you could take it, and you took the help, I think is what I put it.
Yeah.
Well, to tell the truth, I was at a loss beforehand. I was digging around, and then all these riches were given to me, and then it all came together. But it was truly, I was so helped by what I was given.
Well, it is true, because I know whenever I do anything, because as Milton Katselas, who hated British actors, said, British actors work from the outside in and not the inside out. And that's true, because the first thing I want when I do anything, first day of rehearsal, I want the shoes. I want the shoes the character wears, because then that will tell me how I walk, what she's like, what kind of person she is, how she sits, how she stands. Just one thing, like a pair of shoes, gives you so much to a character. And I know it's the opposite of method, and I'm going to be getting letters, but that's how I work. Give me the shoes, and then I'm going to build her from there.
When I was in acting school, one of my teachers, whose name was Archie Smith, was from the Actors Studio. He said the two most important things to remember as an actor are to make sure that your shoes fit and never marry an actress.
And what did you do?
I'm 1 for 2. I got half of it right.
Your shoes fit, but you married an actress.
Well, on that note, I absolutely agree. Jonathan and Marina have heard me say this before, but Alice, I'll say it with you. Star Trek is a gift. Star Trek is an ongoing gift to all of its fans, and
people who do it, who are blessed to be brought into the family.
Indeed, and I am so glad that you are part of the Star Trek family. And again, I thank you for the contributions. And as I thank everyone, I thank you all for your talents. I thank you all for your professionalism, and I thank you for your performances in front and behind the camera.
Well,
and on that note, let's go to our audience questions. Hey, first one comes from Debbie. What would be your dream project to work on?
I want to do a musical.
Okay. You want to do? Well, okay. I've said I would want to do Medea before. I want to do Medea. Do you ever want to play Medea, Alice? Did you want to play Medea? Would you like to play her?
Do you know? other than the stuff that I try to produce myself, I don't kind of have a dream project. I know that's weird, but
no, it's not weird. It's not weird. I don't have a dream project. I have a dream part that I want to play, and that's
right.
Weird. But if I did a musical, and my agent asked me this recently, that if you could be in a musical, what would you choose? Jonathan's going to scream and hate me, but I said, okay, Les Mis.
Oh.
And the only part I can play in Les Mis is Mrs. Madame Thénardier, so I could do that. And I'm sorry, Mamma Mia, because I told you because there is a reason. It's not a great musical. Look, I fess up. It's not one of the best musicals, but if I was singing ABBA 8 shows a week, I would be the happiest woman on the planet because it just makes me happy. It just makes me happy.
Jonathan, what is a musical you would like to see Marina do if you could?
Well, I'd be happy to see her. I wouldn't go 8 times a week, but I'd be happy to see her.
What would you like to do, Jonathan? What musical would you like to do?
I don't know. My favorite show really is Sweeney Todd, and it's kind of been done.
Wow.
I wouldn't
Not
mind.
that much.
No. I'm thinking about I'd like to. I would like a new musical on stage, but they're few and far between.
Yeah.
I loved La La Land. I thought that they really took some wonderful chances in La La Land. It didn't work for me all the way through, but just the idea that they had the balls to do it, I thought was wonderful.
Yeah.
I liked The Greatest Showman.
Oh, with Hugh Jackman.
Everyone's going, she has terrible taste in musicals.
No, that was good.
No, I love The Greatest Showman because the songs are great. The songs from The Greatest Showman are
also,
so great.
Jackman can really sing.
And he can really sing. And so can Zendaya. Is that her name? Is that
I believe
her name?
so.
Right.
Yeah, I believe so,
yeah. Who else was in it? And the other kid, the hunky, what's his name? Zac Efron.
Zac Efron can sing as well.
Yeah, so they had singers. And the girl who played the bearded lady, boy, she can knock it out the park because she sang, she sang the really hard song, which escapes me right now. But The Greatest Showman, it was so the songs in The Greatest Showman were so popular that every panto in England, like I did a panto 2 years ago, we had 3 songs from The Greatest Showman in the panto.
Nice.
Because the kids know all the words. It's like Let It Go from Frozen. All the kids know all the words, you see.
Yeah.
Have you done the pantomime, Alice?
No, but I can't sing. I sing between the notes on the piano. That's where my voice is.
It hasn't stopped Marina.
Hey! That was a low blow.
That was like low-hanging fruit. It was just sitting there.
Took it.
I'm partial to City of Angels. I might be biased because I saw Renee do it in the original Broadway version. So
you know that Renee and my husband died on the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. I didn't know it was the same one. No.
Yeah.
And it was the same day as John Lennon. I know.
May they rest in peace.
May they rest in peace.
Absolutely.
Alice looked shocked. Did you not know that my husband had died?
No.
Oh, we'll talk later. We'll talk later.
No.
Sorry,
okay, I don't want to bring it down. I don't want
No worries.
to bring this down. Right.
No worries. But Debbie, thank you. That was a good one to start us off with. What's next? And this comes from Thalis. Thalis. Did you keep anything from the set after the filming? Or let me rephrase this. Did you find yourself in possession of anything from the Star Trek sets?
Possibly.
I stole a phaser and 2 spacesuits.
3 spacesuits and my director's chair. And a communicator. And that's it.
And some little photogram panels that maybe have made it to my office.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, have you ever asked Brent this question, Patty? Because if you ask Brent this question, he'll say, well, I asked and they said I couldn't. So that was where you went wrong. You asked. As opposed to me and Jonathan, we didn't ask, we just took.
Right in the trunk, right in the boot of the car, right, Marina?
Alice, did you find yourself from any memento from any set you've worked on?
From any set that I've worked on?
Yeah.
I from First Contact, under the suit, I had a black all-in-one bodysuit.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like a jump, just like a zip up, like a onesie, I suppose. Only it was quite tight fitting, and they gave me that, the onesie, but that was it.
That was
and
bigger.
Have you worn it since?
No, but it actually
has Paul made you put it on occasionally?
No. Paul, the Borg Queen is anathema to Paul. He makes her very nervous. So no, the last thing on earth Paul would want to see me in is the Borg suit. I mean the underwear of the Borg Queen. So
that's funny.
Does it have that telling aroma of spirit gum?
I don't have it anymore because our house burned down and everything went with it. So I don't have it. But I don't remember the spirit gum. No.
By the way, that smell does not get any better over the years.
No.
Some of my old prosthetics, like, ugh. So anyway, Alice, thank you. Great one. And a reminder to our audience, if you would like to chat with our guests like I am now or purchase a personalized autograph, you can sign up at galaxycon.com. And let's roll another one. As comes from Val N. If you hadn't become an actor, what job do you think you'd have?
I wanted to play trombone in a jazz trio. I was offered a job when I was working in Natchez, Mississippi. I used to sit in with this band, Under the Hill, and the beautiful and talented Jeannie Francis would sit at the end of the bar and flirt with me, and I'd flirt back. And the band said, "Well, you're not bad. Would you like to join the band? We play Natchez, Jackson, and Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's a tour we do every month." And I got so excited. I said, "Gee, the guys want me to join the band. The guys, I can do this." There's a running joke for decades that the definition of an optimist is a trombone player who has a beeper, which used to be that he thought he was actually going to get a call.
Well, I didn't train to do anything else. I can't do anything else. I didn't go to college. I went to drama school. You went to drama school, didn't you? We didn't go to college, did we, Alice? Did you go to college?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the only ignoramus. I didn't go to college. I went straight to drama school from school.
Guildhall.
And my mum, however, who, when I said to my mum when I was like 3 or 4, I'm going to be an actress, my mum heard, I'm going to be a prostitute. That's what she heard in her ear. So her idea was, because you got to think back, when was I 3 or 4? That was still the late 50s. So, it was not a respectable career for a Greek girl. And it still isn't, actually. But anyway, she wanted me to be a lawyer. And if I had have been a lawyer, I would have been a trial lawyer, because I think they're actors. I think trial lawyers are actors. Mm-hmm. And basically, they do what we do, but they get paid more generally and do it for a reason. Like, law reason. I don't know. I haven't had enough tea. I don't know what's going on with me today.
So would that make you? So would that make you a barrister or a solicitor?
Well, in England it would be. A barrister, because they're the ones that wear the silly wigs, right? Yes,
and they're the ones that actually do the arguing in the court
with the thing and the black robes and the funny wig. Yeah.
Yes, with like Rumpole.
Exactly. Rumpole of the Bailey. I would have been Certis of the Bailey. or Haringey High Court. One of the two.
Well, I think you have the chops for it.
I'm definitely mouthy enough, that's for sure. Alice, What would you have been, my lovely?
What would I have been? I had many ideas about what I could be. When I was very young, I thought I'd be an architect because I was interested in space and people in space. I mean, not space out there, space down here. And then I decided I wanted to be a doctor because my brothers and my father, but also I did actually want to be a doctor. And extraordinarily, I don't know how this happened, but we were having supper one night. And my eldest brother was with us. He must have been at uni by then, studying medicine. And I said at dinner, I want to be a doctor. And my brother, my eldest brother, and my father turned to me and said, but you can't possibly be a doctor. You'll train for 7 years, and then you'll get married and have children, and all that training will be wasted. And I don't know what my mother was thinking, because my mother at this point had gone back to uni and was getting one degree after another. My mother didn't say a word. Well, anyway, that kind of shut that down, to their great regret, because then I became an actor. I went to university to become a psychologist, which is what my mum was. And I wound up deciding that the only thing I could possibly do was act. And the only thing that I could possibly reasonably do with my life was act. And so I did.
And when did you come to England? When did you come to England?
When I was 21, I came to Central. I'd had a very, very academic training at university in drama. It was, all books and plays and all good, but I felt as if I needed to just have a space in which I could just do it. Yeah. But if I were not an actor now, I would love to be a gardener.
Well, when you come to my house,
yeah,
I have a job for you. Because my garden's looking very pathetic right now, and I can kill a plant at 20 paces. So,
oh my goodness!
I went to college to be a psychiatrist as well.
You did,
yeah. And then I transferred into the theater department when I realized how much fun it appeared to be, and what a lifestyle it would be, and I never looked back.
Yeah,
and it's the same subject matter.
Exactly, and it certainly is something that in my current profession it serves me very well.
Yeah,
yeah. Listen, I just played one on TV, and I was giving people advice today on Cameo how to make your marriage work. And I have good advice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If I hadn't gotten my equity card, I'd be a Q&A panel host. Wait, never mind. Val, thank you. Great question. What's next? From Mel, what was the most memorable scene you've shot? And you can all pull from any aspect of your career.
Well, it has to be, and it wasn't a pleasant experience, it has to be the rape scene in Wicked Lady 3. Not Wicked Lady 3, in Death Wish 3, because there was only one Wicked Lady. In Death Wish 3, Michael Winner, may he rot in hell for all eternity. And I know you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but he was such a vile human being that I have no problem saying that. So you can write as many letters as you want. Pretty much tortured me for a whole day in that scene, to the point that my brother, when he found out, wanted to go and kill him. It was the worst experience of my career, and he was just a vile human being, absolutely vile human being, and that was my most memorable. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I'd never had to do it, but I am blessed, because that was the only time, that was really the only movie that I was very unhappy on and treated appallingly on. And you know what? And of course it was before Me Too, and it was before Harvey, and I couldn't say anything. I was 20 in my mid-20s. There was literally no one I could go to, nothing I could say. He actually said at the end of shooting, "You will never work again," because I stood up to him at one point. So I had that. "You'll never work in this town again." So that was my most memorable.
It may be some small solace, but you're not the first actor I've spoken to speak about that director. Chris Sarandon on another film, he said his experience with him almost broke him. He has told me on stage, he has said, I was quitting acting because of his experience with that guy too. So you're yeah.
I know I'm not alone. But he was, well, let's just put it this way. The man sued his mother. I think that says it all. He sued his mum. So, she was frittering. When his dad died, she started having a good time, and she would be at the casino and having fun. And he sued her because she was frittering away his inheritance. I know. Good on her. That's him. That's him in a nutshell. I need I say more? Okay, off you go. Nicer memories now, please.
Okay.
You go, Jonathan. What's the most memorable scene?
I find when I'm asked that question, which I often am, I remember sitting under the camera during the Moby Dick scene between Patrick and Alfre in First Contact, where with my little ships, where she comes in to confront him. It was beautifully written two-hander. It was two professional master actors at the top of their game. And all I had to do was capture it. And I was the only other person with the operators in the room with them. And it just got better and better with each piece of coverage. And we had enough time to do it right. And I remember literally being under the camera with my legs crossed, looking up, like, this is fucking great. This is so great to be this close to this kind of talent and power and imagination and expression and artistry. And it gives me chills to remember. It was a great time. It was a moment in time that I'll treasure.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not hurt that it wasn't a scene that I was in, but that's okay. Move on.
I was afraid that was going to be the first thing you say.
Alice, how about you? What's a scene that resonates?
I'm sorry, it's an interesting question, but I can't begin to answer it. I've had so many wonderful experiences at work. It's all been so interesting to me. But I really can't answer it. I wouldn't like to. I suppose.
You talked yourself into answering it.
Yes, I suppose a moment that I would not ever like to relive. I was in the West End in a production of Bernard Shaw's Arms and the Man.
Oh,
and I was playing Raina, the young juvenile lead. And
remember when we were the ingenues, Alice? Remember when we were the ingenues?
What a long time ago. Aren't we lucky to have made it this far? Anyway, Richard Bryce was playing the chocolate cream soldier. And it was a 6-month run ahead of us. And he said to me one day in passing in rehearsal, "Do you know, about 5 months in, you're going to forget your lines?" And I thought, no, never. Anyway, about 5 months in, I was standing in the wings one night. I never left backstage during the first half or the second. I was standing in the wings at the door where I was meant to enter, waiting to go on. And all of a sudden I heard dialogue I'd never heard before. And I thought, isn't that interesting? I've never heard that before. And the stage manager he literally shoved me onto the stage, pushed me onto the stage. And Richard Breyer and Peter Egan were on the stage improvising Bernard Shaw because I was just dreaming in the wings. And I stumbled onto the stage, and Richard Breyer had to leave. It was a scene then between me and Peter Egan, Sergius, the soldier. And Richard was so glad to be able to leave. He scarfed and he was out of the door as fast as you could wish. And I looked at Peter, and Peter looked at me, and I started. Well, we started the scene. We picked up, and we were sitting together on a love seat. And about halfway through the scene, I started to laugh, and I could not stop. And Peter said my lines and his lines. He just played the whole scene by himself.
Oh, wow.
And eventually I was able to join, and I started saying my lines. It was a matinee. And we came off.
That's okay then, Alice.
What? No. It gets much worse. I came off the stage, and I got such a strip torn off me by the stage manager, and I was mortified. I was covered with shame. Anyway, we come to the nighttime performance. We get to that exact scene.
No.
And I'm there, and I go on time, and halfway through the scene, I start to laugh again. I couldn't stop. Peter said my lines, his lines. And eventually I was able to control myself, and we played through to the end of the scene. It was truly a horrifying, shocking.
Yeah, but I bet the audience loved it. That's
I have no idea what the audience thought. There was one day when we were playing later in the run, when the Sergius character declares love to the maidservant Luca, and he comes down to the front of the stage, Peter Egan, and he clicks together his heels in preparation to go down on his knees to propose to her, and his spurs stuck to each other, and he couldn't separate his feet. And he didn't know what had happened. The audience could see. And the audience became completely hysterical. And he didn't know why he could. And eventually he realized that his spurs weren't gone.
Yeah.
But it was a show that in the last 2 months, there was one incident after another like that. Anyway, I think I set it off. Well,
that's why we love the theatre. That's why we love it. When I was doing Dark Sublime a couple of summers ago in the West End, I broke a glass on stage, a wine glass. It is a pub scene, so I broke the wine glass. And as luck would have it, the Kwaku Mills, who was the other actor in the scene, his next line was, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." And I went, "I don't know what you're embarrassed about. I'm the one who broke the glass." And the audience went crazy. And that's what they love. They love that stuff, and that's why we love doing it.
Awesome. Marina, I'm glad we can close out on a fun memory, because I didn't want to close on that. And Mel, thank you. Great question. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the cast of Star Trek, but it absolutely does not have to be yours. If you'd like to chat with our guests like I have today, or purchase a personalized autograph, sign up at GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, please check out our schedule of upcoming events just like this one. Alice, Marina, Jonathan, any final words before we go?
Thank you, guys. Alice, I will be calling you shortly.
Great. Good.
Get the vax.
We got the vax. Oh, yes, get the vax. Vax.
Get the vax.
People who don't have the vax, the feeling of freedom and relief when you know that you're not going to die is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the vax.
Absolutely.
And then we can do stuff again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that I can go to Greece on vacation, please, this year. Thank you.
Ladies and sir, once again, thank you for joining us on the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Thank you to our audience for joining us today, and thank you for your great questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care, and vax or otherwise, please keep washing those hands.